Hey, welcome back to another edition of Limited Skills. I'm James.
And I'm Brandon.
I actually forgot who I was for a second.
It's very confusing. There's two of us. It's hard
Yeah.
to remember.
And this is the first Ixalan draft that we haven't managed to screw up.
We did have a previous draft where our first battery died, and then when we went to our backup battery, it also immediately died. So we came prepared, sort of.
So now we're watching Brandon draft, which is good because, man, mine was a train wreck.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about mine. Quick flashback, my first draft on launch weekend was Black White Vampires. I was really happy with it. I had a bunch of bomby things and tokens, and it did really well, and I felt like I got some mana issues and had to mulligan a lot.
I don't remember what mine was. It was red-black pirates? Red-black removal is what it was. So what do you take here? Probably that green rare thing?
Was that the Land Awakener?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that thing's pretty sweet. It's 4 for a 3/3 anyway. And
Yeah,
then that
Wake the
ability will
Wilds.
close out a game. It's really versatile. There's two things about its ability that people forget. One, the land that you animate can still tap for mana in future turns for animating other lands, and also you can target the same land that already has been awakened. Just like Awaken? Was that the name of the ability?
Yeah.
You can put the counters on an already active land.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
if you just hang back for a few turns, you can just keep tapping out to pump the same creature to huge.
Oh, that's neat. And then you could do something random to it to give it trample,
Yeah.
or just keep attacking till you eat all their things.
It allowed me to declare it as a blocker and then tap to pump itself, which I don't think my opponent was expecting.
That's slick. All right, so now you're going mono green ramp. No.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, this guy's sweet.
Yeah, and at this point, I've got 2 picks of Merfolk, and I know it's not. I don't think there's a whole lot of like bomby Merfolk cards. That's a weird thing, but I don't know. There's some uncommon and common ones that just have like this mild synergy that sort of just lets you curve and tempo really well.
Yeah. There's that one. There's the one that Frost Breath's a dude, and
Yeah.
he's pretty solid. I feel like he's a good reason to go into blue. Oh, what was I doing? I first picked the pirate that threatens, the red pirate.
Yeah, that thing's sweet.
Yeah.
I've lost to that repeatedly already.
Well, I didn't win with it. And then I think I decided to do... I think I was mostly red in the first pack. I should have been vampires. This is a neat little 2-drop. This is the biggest of that cycle, isn't it?
Yes, the rest of them are all 1-drops.
Mhm.
And that one's 2 for a 2/2. Interesting. So I like it. It's sweet. It's a grizzly bear that does a late game thing that can close out the game. I don't think I ever used its ability.
I have yet to use any of the abilities on any of those creatures, but I have played a bunch of them.
In the pre-release, I remember using the bat that drains 4 life to close out like 3 games that day.
Oh, really? I never got that far. I always killed them before then.
Oh, fancy James.
Yeah, that's
Killing
right.
people before 8 mana.
My deck was pretty fast. Oh, man, what do you do here, Brandon? You got a bunch of green guys. I guess
I
you just
think I should start piling on green guys. There's nothing that really pulls me in the other direction, and I do really want to play.
How early do you think you take Opt? Because I know there's a lot of hubbub around that card.
I don't know.
After 2 drafts, you haven't figured it out?
I won't pick it highly, but I think a lot of people do, and I think that's probably a fine decision. And it doesn't really add anything to your deck, but as long as you got an extra blue mana on a turn, it's never a bad draw.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I did end up taking that rare land because I wanted it for a commander deck.
yeah, I almost got excited to take it, and I forgot that because it's a reprint, I have a pile of those already from years previous. Also, I like a lot of the new arts on them, but that one does not beat the old one. I don't know, it's like looked like this lotus glowy thing. It was cool.
Well, this card's good. Well, I mean, we played Totally Lost, and that was this card for 5 mana.
Yeah, it was the exact same, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like those effects. They're good for tempo. Also, if I realized I'm feel pretty strongly in this first pack that I'm going blue-green Merfolk, or just blue-green at least, with human shamans to top it off. And I know removal's light in those, so bouncing and top of deck is sort of your best bet for
That's true.
getting rid of problem things.
Green does have the 1 or 2 fight cards.
I don't think I got any of those.
I
I don't
didn't
even
even
remember
see
what they
them.
do. So I don't usually like playing counter spells in limited. There just wasn't anything else in that pack, so
Yeah.
it was sort of the thing I was most likely to play.
Counterspell does get a lot better when you have effects that bounce things,
Yeah, that's true. Bounce their bomb and then counter it.
right?
Wow.
It's sort of a 2-for-1, but it's better than getting run over by their bomb. Yeah, I saw a lot of those little conquistador guys going around in pack 1.
Yeah, I think the consensus was black-white was very open, and it could have been very strong here. And I was realizing that at this point as well.
Yeah.
I think specifically at this point, because you could look at this pack and say, oh, there are like 3 or 4 playable black-white things here.
Yeah. So why do you opt to take this card? Just because
It's probably a bad pick.
That's fine.
Okay, there was a little logic behind it of this late in the pack. I thought it seemed people weren't interested in them, so if I took it, it would be more likely that I would just pick up the extra ones later in case I wanted to splash into white for some reason.
Okay, that's reasonable. Spell Pierce is the only thing. Well, the wings. I have seen people play the wings.
I think the wings are alright. I do like Spell Pierce. It's a counterspell I like playing slightly more than cancel in limited.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Just the fact that it's 1 mana. And usually I feel better about countering their removal than the big creature.
Sure.
Because you can usually kind of interact with the creature in more ways.
Yeah. Man, I hate that cannon.
Yeah, I almost took it and played it. Just and like
to
I
try
also
it?
hate it, but just sometimes you just try it and you're like, oh, it is a bad card, but it's really good in the format, and you just don't realize it maybe.
Okay.
My gut tells me that's not true, but
How do you feel about spreading rot in this format? I
a
think...
lot of people playing 3 colors because of dinosaurs and pirates.
Yeah,
It's kind of expensive.
yeah. Gains you some life. Or maybe does it cost them 2 life?
I think it makes them lose 2 life. So I got a pile of green-blue stuff, and I feel alright about that. I don't think I have anything that's actually Merfolk tribal, which is the point of that, but whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. You got some good green and blue.
I'm bound to walk into some.
At this point, I'm mostly red picks, and I have like 3 blue cards, so I'm looking pretty strongly at red-blue pirates, but I'm amenable to like doing any other thing that's better than blue, because I realized Brandon was taking all my blue cards.
So from the 2 drafts that we've done, I think our fear from Sealed was that dinosaurs were rampant. And we were hoping there would be more balance in draft, and I think that has definitely been true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in Sealed, it seems like if you force dinosaurs, you're going to be better off than the other things. But
Right.
I've seen vampires, pirates, and merfolk all do very well in draft.
I saw a really cool vampire deck last week. This guy seems good.
He's
4/4 with
he's
flash.
crazy good.
Also, he
gets
enrages.
bigger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was that rare?
it's an uncommon.
That's fine.
No, not a merfolk. That's okay. As I was saying, dinosaurs are very good.
Yeah, even the sort of bad dinosaurs are... Well, okay, maybe not that one.
I think there is a level of excitement of playing just 8 for a 9/9. Like,
And if they... I mean, a 9/9 is going to eat a lot of things.
okay, so Walk the Plank is an awesome pick. Since I'm drafting Merfolk, I was actually really excited to see it and pass it, because then one of my opponents is going to have that card, and it's mostly not going to hit
that's
any of my
funny.
best cards.
Yeah. That's funny. You know what is fun, though? Making a dinosaur walk the plank.
Splish.
I got to... Colin had a dinosaur with swashbuckling on it. And I got to make his swashbuckling dinosaur walk the plank.
Bootstraps Brontosaurus. Okay, so I got another one of those Ixalan's Keepers. So I was just piling on 2-drops. I had an abundance of 2-drops by the end of this draft, and I played them all, and it paid off very well. I like this card a lot. 3 for a 2/4 plus put a counter on one of your other Merfolk. Or, as happens sometimes, I already had 2 Merfolk that were ready to attack, and that was huge.
Oh, yeah, no, you did that to me once.
Oh, I forgot we played each other in the first round.
Yep. Brandon made me quit.
I did. It was funny. We played best of 139, and I won them all.
He did. It's not a lie or an exaggeration.
I've never exaggerated anything.
And that guy's okay.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I've drafted that says Merfolk on it, other than its actual creature type. No, it's super sweet to curve into. You play that thing on turn 2, and then the turn 3, the guy that puts a counter on 2 Merfolk, and then you got your 2/4 and a 3/2 flyer
that's cool.
attacking on turn 3. It's crazy good tempo.
Have we seen the 1-mana 3/3 yet? I know you look at him.
I hate that card.
I opened it in the pre-release, and you convinced me not to play it. You want to
Yeah.
say something about active morality, and then I'll ramble on with my story?
You can ramble with your story. We'll get back to it.
So he convinces me not to play it, and he says it's a bad card. And then somebody plays it against me. I'm first turn. I play a 1-drop. Then on their turn, they play it, ramp me a land. So now on my turn 2, I have 3 mana. I play a 1-drop with Menace and Swashbuckling on it, and attack with a 3/3 unblockable, effectively. And then I was always 2 mana ahead of them. Yeah, I feel like...
I think that creature had to be a 3/4 to consider playing it.
Okay.
And even then, and like, 1 toughness usually doesn't make a difference between like a bad and playable thing, but that would make it, the size of it, important longer for the fact that your opponent is getting bigger things sooner.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just, like, at 3 mana, they're likely to play something that's going to trade with your thing that gave them card advantage.
Yeah, that's true. Because at best, don't play that card. Just don't.
So backtracking, I wanted to talk about that white enchantment. Now, all I wanted to say about that was it reminded me that at some point my sideboard disappeared. And so I lost that card. I didn't play it, and everything that wasn't in my main deck, I didn't find ever. So that was a bummer, but...
If anyone watching finds Brandon's sideboard, let us know in the comments.
That enchantment was the only thing I think I was really sad about. Which is probably like a 10-cent card, but whatever.
No,
it's actually really good.
The 9/9?
No! The white enchantment.
Oh.
The life switchy card that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. Spoilers, he picks Depths of Desire. Or does he? No, he does. Was this the pack where we had that weird, like, you got a last pick, and then 2 cards later, you got another last pick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's your Chalice, and then...
And then I've got some more picks coming. We're professionals. Just, we don't know at what.
We didn't screw it up.
I mean, we don't know that.
Yeah.
We probably didn't screw it up, but we don't know that. I guess there is video evidence that we didn't see me do anything weird and fishy, but you're sitting to my left, and we can't prove you didn't screw it up. So I'm off the hook.
Crap. We need another camera.
Yeah, but then they changed from, like, I don't know, educational cameras to just security footage to make sure we're not screwing up every draft.
Oh, I wonder if Common Room has security cameras set up.
Yeah. But they don't care about researching our
draft mistakes.
Yeah.
So you're drafting blue-green Merfolk. I don't know what more to say about this. You just take all the 2-drops.
I was just committed to that really quick, and I had a really low curve. My deck was primarily 2 and 3 drops. I had that 4-mana guy that animates my lands that, if they can't answer it right away, is a blowout.
Sure.
Like I said, even if you can only spare 1 land as a creature, you can just keep making it bigger and bigger every round. So don't forget that, because it's easy to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it turns out that, hey, if you pile on a bunch of aggressive 2-drops and just beat face, that works out.
I think the Merfolk archetype has like just the right amount of synergy
To make
to
that
keep
good.
that tempo.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like black has a lot of good cards, but that are a little bit on the expensive side. A lot of the cards that make me excited to pick black are like 4 and 5 mana. Now they do have some good cheap creatures. They have that. There's the 2-drop, or I guess it's 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer that drains them 1. Like that card
I like
is
that
very
thing a lot.
good. But they have fewer of those than blue and green does.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now white has that sweet dinosaur, that tap dinosaur.
Oh god, so good.
Yeah.
I drafted this. I don't think so. I ended up only having, I believe, 10 actual Merfolk in my deck, and I decided that wasn't good enough to try playing that enchantment. I think you probably want at least 14 Merfolk in your deck, which is high.
Yeah.
But then that enchantment probably is really good.
I didn't even read it, and I just put this video together. What does that enchantment
It's
do?
a 3 mana enchantment that when you cast a Merfolk, you get a 1/1 hexproof Merfolk.
Okay. Yeah, I think that card's a little frustrating because you're casting a lot of great creatures at 3. Or you're casting that enchantment that doesn't do much. So
Yeah, I
sort
think
of
you
set
have
you
to
back a turn.
play at least three Merfolk. Sorry, I was distracted by whatever I'm gesturing and explaining here. I'm sure it's very interesting. I would say you'd have to cast at least 3 Merfolk after the enchantment to like consider the value worth it, but it's also a slow pace because you spent a turn casting the enchantment.
Yeah.
So like really, I think you need to count on getting like 5 Merfolk out of it to be like, that card was sweet.
Sure. How do you think of that spike-tailed Triceratops? Because you took a couple of him.
I thought it seemed like a vanilla thing, but it's actually really good. It's a lot better than I expected. And a lot of times, and this happened to me at the pre-release, and then playing against 2 opponents also, they will declare attacks and forget that you can block 2 things with it.
Oh, sure.
And like worst case, I had a situation where I used it to chump block like 2 7/7s, and he forgot that I could just absorb that much damage for 1 creature.
Oh, yeah, that would be frustrating. I mean, I'm sure he planned to kill 2 creatures. Good old spiky tail.
But yeah, as you said, there wasn't a whole lot else that came up too exciting here. It was just blue-green tempo, cheap stuff. My only removal was bounce in top of library, but that was effective. I had a little bit of evasion through flying on those 2/1s, and those guys are very good.
Yeah. What do you think of Explore as a mechanic?
I think it's very good. I don't think there are really any cards that have Explore that are like, this card is amazing. Like,
Sure.
like their power level is all really neutral,
Okay.
I think, but just getting to either get that land off the top of your deck so you're not drawing it next turn, or it being 1 bigger than is usually averaged for the cost. I'm always happy with the result when I Explore.
I've talked to a bunch of folks who are really frustrated by Explore because they'll say, man, sometimes like I really just wanted the 3/2 this turn or whatever. But I feel like that's not the right way to evaluate that. I feel like it's not playing a creature pump, you're playing a card draw.
I do understand. There's a frustration because there's sometimes like, oh, they've got this 2 toughness creature, and I need my 1 power thing to have 2 power.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating, but I don't know. You could play other cards if you didn't want, if you like just specifically needed 2 power.
Right.
And I think actually everything with Explore. I think the worst one, just because it's boring, is the 0/3.
Sure.
For 2 mana, and it's fine.
Yeah. Sort of like Afflict in the last set. In that, not Afflict, sorry.
I was confused.
Embalm or Eternalize. Like, even the bad things with Embalm or Eternalize were like fine
There's value
things.
behind them, yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's probably not exciting to play your creature and get a land, but
Now you're not drawing a land next turn, hopefully.
yeah, like it's a subtle advantage. But,
Or at the very least, you're guaranteed to play a land next turn.
or if you're getting the counter from a non-land thing on top that you don't want, you're getting to scry and get a counter on it at the same time.
Yeah. And that's sweet too. Like, oh, there's this bounce spell does nothing for me right now. I'd
Graveyard
rather have it-
Scry, whatever.
Yeah.
I was gonna say whatever we want to call that, but what we call that is explore.
All right, we've started doing a thing now at the end of drafts where we sort of live stream and talk about how we did and what's on our mind and
You
whatever.
get to watch my sweet driving skills in the dark.
Yeah, the ratio of what was it? It was like ferrets to dinosaurs, and no, it was vampire pirates to dinosaurs in terms of card quality. That's how we
Yeah.
graded things at one point. So if you want to watch us ramble on for some
Right,
nonsense,
we use the ferret scale.
yeah,
Right,
the ferret.
that's
That's what we're
right.
calling it, on the ferret scale of Magic card quality. It's a new thing we're patenting at Wizards Call Us. You should tune in to the YouTubes, I don't know, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And we didn't do one last week because I bailed. Because I was all salty about losing
Oh God, he was a salty
139
pirate.
games
A
of Magic.
salty sea dog.
But that will be something we'll be doing on the reg. Yo. Ho ho.
Please stop.
All right, we're going to stop. We'll see you on Friday.
Goodbye.